I've been living in Dubai as a business owner in crypto for the last 3 years. And I recently posted an article on X describing my experience and if I would recommend people who also work in crypto to move to Dubai. And this article actually ended up resonating with a lot of people and went pretty viral. It ended up getting 200,000 views and I ended up getting a lot of follow-up messages from people asking me more questions, and really it kind of helped a lot of people make their mind whether they wanted to move there or not. So I thought of making this video right here as an extension of that article and just further expand on some of the topics that I brought up. And my guarantee to you is that I will not be talking about any talking points you've already heard about a million times. Everyone knows that Dubai is safe and everyone knows that it's cool that it has zero taxes or zero personal taxes. So I will not be talking about these things. Instead, I'm going to be sharing my personal experience across 3 different pillars of life. The first one being, what is the true cost of living in Dubai? Number 2, what does the professional life in Dubai look like? What is it to be a crypto entrepreneur living in what seems to be the crypto capital in the world? Is it good for business? Is it good for networking? And number 3, how is personal life? How is it meeting romantic partners? How's the social life? These are all things I'm going to be talking to you honestly. Unfungible was registered in Dubai in early 2023. And before moving here, I had the impression, just like a lot of people do, that Dubai is a very expensive city. Everything here is probably 2 times more expensive than where I was living, which is Montreal in Canada. And I was pretty surprised to realize that the lifestyle of Dubai, or the cost of living in Dubai, meets you where you are on a personal and professional level. Just to give you context on my setup back in 2023, Unfungible was only a year old. We were making about $10,000 to $15,000 per month. I had costs, I had overheads, and I was trying to reinvest everything back into the business. So I was very much in a cash flow conservation phase of the business. What I ended up doing was actually sharing a studio bedroom with my brother. My younger brother happened to be working in Dubai as a marketer at a company. And I hit him up. I'm like, bro, I just registered my company in Dubai. I'm going to be making the move very soon. He's like, bro, great. Love to have you here, man. Listen, I got this studio. Just come and crash with me. I don't want you to pay rent for a place just next door if I'm here. We've been doing this all our lives, so just come crash. So I ended up living a full year, sharing a full studio with my brother. It was honestly the year where I have the best experience living with my brother. And ever since then, even though we've moved to a new place, I currently live here in JBR, beautiful place in front of the beach. We still share house because I always want to be close to my brother and he was here for me since the beginning. But for context in terms of what the cost of living was back then, my brother was staying in this area close to downtown. It was a new development complex called Azizi Riviera. He was just paying $900 per month. He was actually the first tenant in his property, and it was a 10 to 15 minute drive from downtown. So you hear this and you're like, $900 in like 10 minutes from downtown. You cannot find this neither in New York, Singapore, Hong Kong, London. These prices don't exist. And I know. That's the thing about Dubai. You have all these great neighborhoods that are not necessarily at the center, but very close to it, that offer great quality of life for very cheap. And for most of us, rent will always be the biggest expense that we will all have. And if you right now, for example, are thinking of moving to Dubai and you have a budget anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000, there's a lot of great neighborhoods. There's on the downtown side, so Dubai is split in 2. There's downtown and then there's the marina side. And in between, you kind of have mostly residential neighborhoods for locals. But for foreigners like us, downtown and marina are the 2 big zones. And between the $1,000 to $2,000 range for a 1-bedroom / studio, you're looking at developments like Azizi Riviera, Shuba Heartland. On the marina side, you have JLT, you have JVC. These are the typical budget places to live. Now, the thing with Dubai is, again, it meets you where you are. And if you are at a stage where you're ready to spend a lot more, oh man, it grows quickly. And that's where a 10-minute drive, you're all of a sudden in downtown and you're looking at $3,000 to $4,000 per month for a 1 studio or a 1-bedroom. The good news, and this is honestly one of my favorite parts about Dubai, is moving around and taxing. It's not very expensive. Public transportation doesn't exist. Nada. You can't really use it. It connects downtown to Marina, but you will need to take a cab unless you're going to these big locations. But the good news is that taking a cab isn't that expensive. So even if you were to, for example, when I was living with my brother, I would take a 15 to 20 minute drive to the WeWork, which was next to downtown. And I was probably paying about $30 per day on cabs, which, in a city like New York, $30 is a one-way to Manhattan. And the last thing is food and dining. And again, going back to Dubai meets you where you are. Back then, the typical cheat meal that I would have every weekend, instead of going out with my brother, we would either do homemade burgers on Friday, or we would end up ordering $3 shawarmas. So the app that is used in Dubai is called Kareem. There's always great offers, no service fees. In Canada, for example, any order that you want to put in, the order will start at $12 just between delivery fees and platform fees. Here, you have like 50 cents in fees. So you could get yourself a $6, $7, $8 meal, which is unheard of. But things do start getting a little bit more expensive once you start hanging out in certain circles, which opens up the second part of the conversation, which is, what does professional life look like? So I'm not much of a networker. I wouldn't say I came to Dubai for the network. I'm a lot more of an online marketer. I make my contacts, acquire customers using the internet. And I've scaled Unfungible to where it is today, 3 years after. And I shared this publicly. We're a team of 20 people today, on track to doing $2 million this year. And all of it was done through the internet. So I was never really big of a networker. So I haven't really used the network of Dubai. But for someone who does want to, Dubai's networking opportunities are insane, but it will cost you. So a lot of networking is done, and you will often find yourself going to these big events or nice restaurant venues with people. One example of this is just this weekend, I met a couple people in the industry, and we went to this very nice restaurant called Milos. And the way networking happens is, you just split the table, whoever gets drinks, whoever gets bottles, whoever gets meal. And it was about $250 per person for that evening. So that's why, depending on where you are in your life, whether you're like just bootstrapping, or if you're more comfortable, you're at a more comfortable stage of your business, you will need to start being careful with the type of networking that you do. And that is where you can always stick to these more public events. There are very often a lot of crypto events. The WeWork that I was working at, for example, the WeWork was on floor 9th of the one central building. On floor 10, you had Bybit. So the regional headquarters of Bybit was just above me. And then on floor 5, you actually had Binance. So in terms of the big companies, big money, it is in Dubai. Another story that I have for you is when I moved in right here in JBR, I remember I visited this place, absolutely fell in love with it. The view is beautiful. You got the view of the marina and the view of the Dubai wheel on this side. I fell in love with this place and I signed. The next day I came to visit it again to see, okay, what types of furniture that I need, because it was semi-furnished. And I see in one of the buildings next to my building, there's this crypto VC that has a co-working space. It's called Cypher Capital. So I look and I see big written in big, free Web3 co-working space. Seeing this just under my building, I was like, yeah, I made the right choice. And it further reaffirmed how big of a central hub Dubai is when it comes to networking. In Dubai, there's a lot of people that are based here, but even more, there's a lot of people flying in. So living here and making it pretty public that I live here, I often get messages from people, founders, letting me know, hey Leon, I'm in Dubai for this weekend. And as someone who's not very social, it does take an effort to try to see all these people all the time. And the thing about the Dubai lifestyle is that it is never ending. It will get easy to start getting dragged into these social circles. And I know some people that are just out every single day. That's how they do their work. That's how they meet people. That's how they meet clients. They're just out and about all the time. One day at a shisha cafe, the next one they're going to this place. The other time they're at this restaurant. So they're always out meeting people. So it really depends what type of entrepreneur you are, whether you want to lock in on your computer that is maybe not in the hot area, or are you the type of person that is just here to network? Dubai will offer the two for you. But one thing for sure, in Dubai, you are going to find yourself in bigger rooms. The level of people, and that's what I love about this city. You get exposed to a new standard. That's the most inspiring part of it, and this relates to the personal life aspect. But from a professional angle, you will make more money in Dubai because you are going to be exposed to a bigger lifestyle. You're going to see so much wealth around you. I remember I would find myself before moving here, so before during my Web2 businesses, I was doing e-commerce, I was building communities, and I was like in Montreal, but I would visit family. I had family here, so I would come here, crash at their place. And then I would find myself every time I was in Dubai, whether for 2 weeks or for 2 months, I would just find myself all of a sudden making a bit more money. I would get a bit more fit. I would get a bit more motivated. There's something about this city, the energy of it, the abundance. Any self-limiting belief that you have, any scarcity mindset will get broken here in Dubai. And this either fuels you or it can crush you. I've heard it from people that some people it doesn't resonate with them. Some people love the Euromaxing lifestyle where it's like the slow living, they love it. In Dubai, it's not like this. You're gonna have to keep up with people, you're gonna have to keep up with the pace. And for some persona, it will drive you, for others, it will burn you out. So that's an important question to ask yourself right now. Final thing about the business setup, it's super simple to open a business bank account, super simple to incorporate. The way the setup works is that you open an incorporation in Dubai, in the UAE. There's different free zones. So you open the business and then the business sponsors you. And you can just issue visas. I have friends that have like visas for themselves, for their family, for their cousins, for their girlfriends, and that's how they bring everyone to Dubai. That's a setup that works. It is not illegal. Or you can just sponsor your employees, whether they are based in Dubai or you want to fly them in. It's super easy to create visas for everyone. The business bank account that I recommend everyone who comes to Dubai is Wayo. So Wayo is super cool because it's a neo bank. It's very modern, they have great UI, they have incredible customer service, great fees, and I've never had any problem with them. So if you're an entrepreneur that is doing anywhere between 0 to $1 million per year, I think they're the type of bank that will scale with you. At some point, you will probably need more corporate services. That's where you go to the more established Emirates NBD, so National Bank of Dubai, or these other more established banks where you can actually walk in, shake hands with someone and speak to someone. But with Wayo, it's an online bank. For me personally, it's been absolutely beautiful. They have both personal and business services. So you can have your personal account, that of your team, and the business account. Now the final part of living in Dubai, which is the social life. And this is the part that I think turns the people who've lived in Dubai and perhaps haven't liked it, that's the part that turns them off the most. Because when I was living in Montreal, for example, or when I was traveling, nomading around Latin America, there's a lot of spontaneity that happens during your day-to-day. You're off to the coffee shop, you're off to the restaurant, the people you meet at the bar, the cashier you meet, the Uber driver. There's more spontaneity that happens in life. Dubai does not have this. Dubai, a lot of what you do, you're commuting from point A to point B. And anything in between, there's not much of an experience. The people you interact with, it's weird for me to say, but there's a clear disconnect between the working class and the professional class. So the working class, the blue collars, the people that work, the cashier in restaurants, your taxi driver, your Uber driver. These are oftentimes people that work for companies from third world countries, oftentimes from Pakistan and India. And there's a clear disconnect between how these people mingle, how these people interact with you. Super polite, amazing service, but it doesn't come off like, and like Montreal, it's like when I was a university student, it's a university student that is serving me, or it's like this beautiful cashier that works there. It's like there's more spontaneity that happens. In Dubai, not as much. So a lot of your living happens between the point A and you go to point B, and then point B, you go back to point A. And any spontaneity happens in these areas. Another thing in Dubai that is not a secret, and it's just how it is, a lot of it is social circles and status signaling games. So because there's a lot of wealth, people are very wealthy here, a lot of success, the commingling doesn't happen so often unless you find a community for yourself. So I've seen it is super common. A great way to meet people in Dubai is you go to these running clubs, you go to classes. There's a lot of meetups for example, my girlfriend, she was recently at a painting class for Latin American people because my girlfriend is from there. So you have all these meetups, but they happen more in these closed circles that you have to go to. Now for dating, before meeting my beautiful girlfriend, I've dated in Dubai. And one of the things that, the typical stereotype that you hear about Dubai is it's very competitive, it's very artificial, it's very transactional. And the reality of it is, yes, it is. It absolutely is, because the standards are higher in Dubai. Who you could have attracted back in your home country is not going to be the same here in Dubai. And that's the same thing, by the way, in all the big cities. In all the big cities, when you're surrounded with bigger fishes, the standards do go up. So it's true, as a man, or even women, but I'm gonna address the men on this channel because that's who, according to YouTube, 98% of my audience is. So as a man, you are going to have to level up to be able to access a new pool of people. The women here, the ones who, there's a lot of beautiful women, hardworking, very smart, very intellectual. There's a great pool of people, and don't let anyone convince you that it's impossible. It's just more competitive and it is harder. That is true. Now, one thing you're gonna have to be careful of. It's easy to get scammed in Dubai. There's a lot of scams. Believe it or not, you can get scammed in a lot of different ways. From the real estate that you find, there's a lot of sketchy stuff where you click on a link and then you talk to the realtor and then they send you an Airbnb link. There's actually a false Airbnb that exists. But all the way even to the dating scene, where I remember this story from this guy that I met. He was using the dating apps. He was on Tinder. And one of the things that he did is he matched with a girl. And he matched with this girl who told him that she really wanted to try out this nice restaurants at this hotel. He ends up taking her over there. And by the end of the meal, he gets a bill. And the bill was like $1,500. It turns out that girl had ordered all the most expensive items on the menu. And he was in shock. He went to talk to the manager. He was like, I'm not paying this. What the hell is that? So he ended up putting a 50% deposit on it and wanted to pay it after this, only for him to learn that it turns out that the woman works for the restaurant and she was making commission out of these dates that she would bring men to. It's easy to get scammed and to get fooled in Dubai. You have to be very careful. You have to keep your guard up. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. There's a lot of women that work here, and the reason being is that there is a market, there's a lot of wealth, there's a lot of men who come here and they're willing to pay. Because there is demand, there is supply. So gentlemen, keep your guard up. Overall, if you find the right social circle, you're gonna find plenty of it. There's a lot of highly motivated guys, girls who wanna be here, they wanna win. You can build a great social circle. There's a lot of great meeting spots. One of my favorites is Casa del Habano. It's a cigar shop. I like to meet my boys over there. And overall, it's a great freaking experience. So my personal consensus, anyone who is in Web3 and is looking to level up, I personally think it's a great city. And you know what? Just like I mentioned, Dubai will meet you where you are. It's easy to set up, but it's also easy to close. If you come here, you try it, you don't like it, you can always close back and you can always experience the rest of the world. There's no strings attached to Dubai. It's a place you can come and you can pack and leave if you don't like it. If you're in Dubai, shoot me a message on X. I like to organize once in a while these Web3 dinners, so I'll make sure to invite you as well. And ladies and gentlemen, it was a great pleasure. I'm Leon Aboud, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.